Now for global business updates, Rotus Oddiri joins us. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Dr. Bassi. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning. All our viewers have to rush through. There's so much going on. Dr. Bassi, this is not normal. Oh. You can't fall 30%, then climb 10%. Silver was down as much as 13% in trading this morning. This just sounds so speculative. Up and down we go with volatility with precious metals. To Bitcoin, for the Bitcoin bulls out there, somebody should explain to me how you've gone from a $121,000 high in October 2025, falling by over 40% now to $70,000 in trading today. Bitcoin has just continued to plummet. I do not see the intrinsic value in Bitcoin. You can't buy toothpaste with it. You can't buy plane tickets. It's just a speculative item that people hold that they hope they can sell to earn more money. Shout out to Tola, my main man, who said it was going to climb to 150. All right, Asian markets falling in trading today. The tech sell-off spilling into the Asian trade. Look at your Kospi leading the losses that have been bucking the trend. 3.8% drop across the board. It's red, commodities, equities, and the like. Let's get to U.S. President Trump, who said that if Kevin Walsh had said he was going to hike rates, he would not get the job. Can you imagine? Here he is in an interview that he gave yesterday or the day before.
I do the opposite.
Yeah. Does your new Fed pick understand that you want him to lower interest rates?
Oh, I think he does, but I think he wants to anyway. I mean, if he came in and said, I want to raise them,
if he said that, he wouldn't have gotten the job.
He would not have gotten the job.
So if he wants to hike rates, what does that mean for the independence of the central bank? Meanwhile, Scott Bessent was doing viral videos with Nicki Minaj, the bees in a trap trending video. And then he went to the Senate and Congress, and got an absolute grilling. This is from the Senate, one of the representatives, Congressman Sean Casten from Illinois. Basically, let me set this up for you. Casten basically asked for the Treasury to give its jurisdiction to be able to handle the assets of Venezuela, which is a sovereign nation. And Mr. Scott Bessent was stammering. Here is the exchange.
Since the U.S. captured President Maduro, the Trump administration has been selling Venezuelan oil. Secretary Wright has said that's going to continue indefinitely. The president's January 9th executive order said that those funds are the sovereign property of Venezuela, but has directed you, the Treasury Secretary, to hold those assets in custody to facilitate disbursements transfers as directed by the Secretary of State. As I've gone through the 91 specific trusts that you have the statutory authority to oversee, none of those have any relationship to Venezuelan oil. So can you help us understand under what statutory authority, or what statutory authority is Treasury relying on to exercise the discretionary control over natural resources and sovereign assets of another country?
Treasury has no control over the...
I'm just asking about what statutory authority you rely on.
Again, we are operating under an agreement between state and energy that we are not involved.
No, but the executive order said that the Treasury Secretary is holding those assets in custody. That's a specific language there, and is facilitating disbursements. Under what authority are you acting?
I will get back to you with the exact authority, but it is under agreement with state.
Let me just clarify, because my concern is that the executive order cites IEPA. IEPA specifically says that you have to be engaged in hostilities with a country for IEPA to trigger that claim. Secretary Rubio said that we are not at war with Venezuela. I would agree. I'm glad we're not at war. So unless you disagree with Secretary Rubio, I'm unclear under what legal authority the United States has to control or disperse those assets.
Well, I would believe that the IEPA authority would act for a period of time for a
not unless we're not. That's not
a transition.
Well, look, that's not true. But please provide in writing what you're doing.
Trust me, there was a whole lot more from there. There was plenty more. Moving to markets, it looks like we're cycling out of technology stocks and going into non-tech. That's why your Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is not weighted by tech stocks, was up by 53 basis points. S&P 500, look at your tech-heavy NASDAQ, 1.5% drop yesterday. Alphabet, blockbuster earnings, but despite that, still falling almost 2% yesterday. Alphabet, the parent company of Google, made $400 billion billion in 2025. That is almost the GDP of South Africa. Up by 15%. Operating income 32%. YouTube by itself, shout out to our Rise News YouTube community, very active. YouTube is now a $60 billion business just by itself. Total subscribers for all Alphabet services, Google Play, YouTube, is 325 million now. That's more than the population of Nigeria. Despite this fantastic earnings from the tech sell-off still impacted Alphabet. Finally, to Nigeria, I want to minister to somebody today. The spirit of financial responsibility said I should talk to you. If you're under persecution from frivolous spending, from low savings or low return on your savings, also from idle funds, I want you to hold your neighbor and say, the true yield will be your shield. Talk to your neighbor, hold your neighbor and say, the true yield will be your shield and protect you from these spiritual attacks, because we had a Treasury Bill auction yesterday. 1.15 trillion was offered. The subscription was 4.5, over 4 times a subscription. 150 billion offered on the 91-day, 200 billion on the 182-day, 800 billion on the 364-day, and more than 4.3 trillion went in there. What is your true yield? The true yield is not based on your stop rate. It is based on the difference between the price or the annual return that you get, because these treasury bills are discounted securities. So take a look at this. Your 91-day, 15.84%. That's your stop rate. Look at your true yield, 16.5. The 182, 16.55. Your true yield is 18.2, and your 364 days, 16.9. Your true yield is 20.5%. So talk to your financial advisor. Escape the spiritual attacks of idle funds, frivolous spending, and non-interest. Get the true yield.
Especially, take for instance, the money you went to use to watch Sinners 7 times.
But it's low, but I'm an investor now. That's disposable by return to cover
I
that.
thought you were going to say that.
Sinners has 16
I thought you were
Oscar
going to
nominees.
say that rather than spend
16.
on Valentine's Day next week.
No,
take
say
that
this.
money.
The
And
true
I was going
yield
to
is
say, perish that short.
The true yield will be
You
your
and
shield.
Rotus, I'm watching you.
Protect
You must
yourself.
spend, that's an investment.
Protect your
Dr.
money.
Bat, is it not
No
an
money for
investment?
South Africa AI. No money.
Anyway,
The
back
true
on
yield will be
England,
your shield.
Monetary
Yes.
Policy
Today.
Committee meeting for the first time this year today.
Yeah.
Now, the market analysts are saying they are likely to just hold rates at 3.75, even if inflation rate in England is 3.4%. Silver and gold in correction territory, but it's larger with silver, which went down 30% last Friday, and now 16%, I think, this morning.
Crazy.
Oil prices have gone down because tomorrow, US and Iran will be talking in Oman, and that has moderated oil prices. Thank you very much, Rotu.